5:58 a.m., headlights flashed, metal screamed, and my fourth mailbox exploded into shards across the dew-covered lawn. I didn't even flinch, because this wasn't an accident anymore. It was war. And the woman behind that black SUV, the self-proclaimed queen of our HO, and she had no idea who she was messing with. 3 months earlier, I moved into my grandparents' old house on Willowbrook Court, a neighborhood so neat it looked photoshopped. Lawns trimmed to regulation height, shutters painted identical beige, mailboxes lined up like soldiers. The HOA kept the peace with smiles and fines. For me, it was supposed to be a new start, a quiet life after years designing props and mechanical effects for movies. I built explosions for a living. Now I wanted silence. From my garage, I crafted gadgets and scenery for Hollywood sets while sipping coffee to birdsong. Then I met Rhonda Glass, pearls, pantsuit, and power issues. She ran the HOA like a dictator runs a tiny kingdom. Every rule was gospel, every neighbor a subject. I thought her clipboard smile was harmless. I thought I could ignore her. Turns out she'd soon make sure every morning began with the sound of twisted metal. The first crash came on a Monday. A screech, a crunch, and silence. My brand new mailbox lay flattened like roadkill. I chalked it up to some careless driver and replaced it the same day. That evening, Rhonda showed up with sympathy, so sweet it hurt my teeth. "Oh, Caleb, such a shame," she said, gold OA badge gleaming like a sheriff's star. "We've never had anything like this before." Unusual, isn't it? Her eyes flicked past me, scanning my living room like she was taking inventory. She asked about my work hours, visitors, even my paint color choices. I laughed it off. Maybe she was just nosy. 2 weeks later, mailbox number 2 died the same way. Same time, same tire marks. This time she asked whether my camera faced the street, because apparently, privacy matters. By the third hit, I'd memorized the sound, the pause, the rev, the impact. When I matched the paint chip to her SUV, I stopped laughing. Every other Monday, 5:58 a.m., my mailbox met its doom. The rhythm was surgical. I reviewed footage, frame by frame. Rhonda's black SUV, the same dented bumper, the same smug escape. She thought she was untouchable behind HOA bylaws thicker than a Bible. When she came by pretending concern, I played along. "Maybe move it farther from the curb," she suggested, feigning helpfulness. Her perfume mixed with engine oil still hung in the air. I realized she wasn't just destroying mailboxes. She was testing boundaries. See how far she could push before I broke. I wasn't her first target, just the first one with cameras. That night, I cataloged every clip, every frame, every timestamp. My Hollywood training kicked in: angle, lighting, evidence. She wanted a game of control. Fine. I'd storyboard her downfall like a movie. Scene 1, setup. Scene 2, confrontation. Scene 3, impact. By October, her mask slipped. Rhonda arrived without fake sympathy, lecturing me on community harmony while dropping violation forms like confetti. My grass was 3.2 inches tall, my garage too loud, my shutters aggressively white. She weaponized the rulebook with bureaucratic precision. Neighbors watched through curtains but said nothing. Fear was her currency. Every smile hid threat, every rule her excuse. I realized she wasn't protecting order. She was feeding on control. That morning, she warned me, people who don't adapt usually move away. Translation: leave or be crushed. I smiled politely, but inside I was calculating. Every villain has a pattern. Every tyrant an ego. An ego blinds them right before the fall. Within weeks, my door looked like a bulletin board of shame. Yellow violations pinned daily by her nervous assistant, Derek. Grass too tall. Tool noise. Unauthorized mailbox color. She fined me for existing. My neighbors avoided eye contact. Rhonda's reign worked through isolation. Then came Betty Chambers, the 70-year-old next door who'd seen it all. Over coffee, she whispered, "She's done this before, 3 families gone in 2 years." Same pattern. Betty showed me stacks of old notices, ridiculous infractions about flower species and lawn angles. Each ended with foreclosure. My anger cooled into focus. "She thinks fear keeps people quiet," I said. Betty nodded. "Until someone fights back." That night, I lined my desk with the evidence. Videos, timestamps, copies of every absurd fine. She wanted order. I give her a lesson in consequences. My next project wouldn't be for Hollywood. It would be for her. The final straw wasn't metal, it was petals. One morning, Rhonda stormed in with Derek, tape measures in hand, and marched straight into my grandparents' memorial garden. 30 years of roses trampled. Violating setback zones, she declared, crushing blossoms under designer heels. I froze. Those flowers were Sunday afternoons with Grandma, stories from Grandpa, memories rooted deep. Watching her destroy them felt like watching memories burn. I wanted to scream, but she smiled, that perfect, poisonous smile, and handed me another violation slip. After they left, I found a note in my grandfather's old gardening book. We plant roots so others can find shade. That's when grief turned into resolve. She hadn't just ruined flowers. She'd awakened something she couldn't control. For 3 nights, I barely slept. I drafted blueprints like battle plans. Not a mailbox, a monument. 4-foot concrete base, steel core, disguised under regulation aluminum. Legal in every dimension, lethal only in karma. Cameras hidden in porch lights and birdhouses. Betty became mission control, filming from her window. I poured concrete while Rhonda did her daily drive-bys, timing each step between her rounds. To anyone watching, I looked like a defeated homeowner fixing damage. In reality, I was engineering destiny. Each bolt, each weld whispered revenge. When I tightened the last screw, I ran my hand over the metal. Smooth, strong, silent. Hollywood taught me to build illusions, things that break safely. This time, I built something that wouldn't break at all. Monday 5:58 a.m. was circled on my calendar in red. The stage was set. The villain's cue was coming. Dawn. Fog on the pavement. Coffee in my hand. Her SUV appeared, punctual as always. The engine roared, the trap waited. She aligned, accelerated, and physics met justice. The impact thundered through the street. Her car folded like paper, airbags bursting, fluid spilling. The mailbox didn't budge. Neighbors poured out, phones recording. Betty's live stream hit double digits in seconds. Rhonda stumbled out, hair wild, shouting that it was illegal, that I'd set a trap. I smiled. Actually, it's just well built. You know about standards, right? The line hit harder than the crash. Cameras caught everything. The wreck, her outrage, the unbroken mailbox standing proud. In that moment, silence filled the air, the kind of silence that follows justice served cold. By noon, the footage was everywhere, mailbox revenge trending, memes blooming faster than roses. News vans rolled in. Headlines screamed, President crashes into karma. The HOA held an emergency meeting. The vote was unanimous. Rhonda Glass removed, fines canceled, Betty elected president. My mailbox became a neighborhood landmark, a symbol of quiet resistance. Kids posed beside it. Homeowners asked for building tips. Weeks later, Rhonda's house went up for sale, her SUV still sitting mangled in her driveway. The garden bloomed again, stronger than before. Some mornings I still hear that old impact echo, not as anger, but reminder. In a world full of people who abuse power, sometimes justice doesn't knock. Sometimes it waits and lets them crash right into it.